Good morning. Hayom Yom, Beis Nissan. So today's a very significant day for all Jews, but particularly for those that are part of the Chabad community, because as the Rebbe starts off today's Hayom Yom by telling us, today is the anniversary of the passing of the fifth Chabad Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab. The Rebbe Rashab was born in the year 1860, and he passed away today, Beis Nissan, in the year 1920. The Rebbe Rashab passed away on a Motzei Shabbos in the city of Rostov. Rostov is a port city in southern Russia, and that's where the Rebbe Rashab was buried, at the age of 59. Now, about 20 years after the Rebbe Rashab's passing, in the year 1940, the local authorities decided to do a construction project on top of the Jewish cemetery. So a couple of brave local Jews got together, and they risked their lives by secretly and illegally going into the graveyard and exhuming the Rebbe Rashab and moving him elsewhere in Rostov, and that is where he's buried till today. So that's the first thing that the Rebbe tells us. On a side note, if you would like to read more about the Rebbe Rashab's passing, there is a beautiful book written by a chassid, Moshe Rebbe Rivkins, who was with the Rebbe Rashab in his final weeks and recorded everything. The second thing that the Rebbe tells us is that the Rebbe Rashab's father, the Rebbe Maharash, passed away in the year 1860 on Yud Gimel Tishrei. That's Erev Sukkot. Now, only 3 days later, on the second day of Sukkot, the Rebbe Rashab said his first Maamar, titled Keser Yitnulcha, only 3 days after his father passed away. Now, the tragedy of this Maamar is while we know it was said, the actual transcript has been lost to us. And therefore, if you go to your bookshelf and take out a Tuf Reish Mem Gimel of the Rebbe Rashab, while this Maamar will be in the table of contents, the actual Maamar is simply not in the book. So that's just very sad. The third and final thing that the Rebbe tells us is that the last Maamar the Rebbe Rashab ever said publicly was in the year 1920 on Purim during the Purim Seudah. A side note, the reason why the Rebbe says that this is the last Maamar the Rebbe Rashab said publicly is because we do have a record of the Rebbe Rashab saying one more Maamar 2 days later on Parshas Kisisa, but this is the last Maamar he said publicly. So in any event, this public Maamar that the Rebbe Rashab said on Purim by the Purim Seudah, if you would like to read more about what happened at that Purim Seudah, wild stuff, you can find it in Toras Shalom between the pages 246 and 251. So this Maamar was titled Reishis Goyim Amalek Ketz Sam Locheshech, which is two different psukim. The first pasuk, Reishis Goyim Amalek, is from Parshas Balak, and it translates as Amalek is the first amongst nations. The literal interpretation which Rashi brings over there is that when the Jews left Egypt, Amalek was the first nation which dared to attack us Jews. And because of that, we're going to make sure to wipe them out. In a less literal sense, Amalek is representative as the most primal evil, which is the source of all evil within the world and within ourselves. And all other evil and bad forces that exist out there are just proxies and offshoots of Amalek. And therefore, if we wipe out Amalek, everything will be good. The second verse, Ketz Sam Locheshech, is taken from Eov, and Eov says, Ketz Sam Locheshech, God, you have placed a time clock on darkness, and eventually darkness and evil will come to an end. Now, the Fridiker Rebbe used this title for his first Maamar, and therefore the Fridiker Rebbe's first Maamar is Reishis Goyim Amalek, which the Fridiker Rebbe said less than a week after the Rebbe Rashab passed away. The Fridiker Rebbe said it on Parshas Tzav, 1920. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day.